Welcome back to the Malt Miller YouTube channel. Today we are looking at the top 10 items to make your brew day an absolute breeze. James, our Brew With You series is proving to be absolutely fantastic for us, picking up knowledge from various homebrewers across the country. But what we're really interested in is those little bits and pieces, bits of information that they can give us that helps make their brew day easier.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's different, right? You ask 100 brewers, you get a different answer. Everybody brews in a slightly different way, so therefore there are innovations out there to be picked up on. Yeah. But it's no secret, Rob, that one of the things we absolutely adore about all grain brewing is the sensory experience that you get when you're making beer from grain. Smelling the malt while you're doughing in, adding the hops during the boil, all of those lovely aromas that come off as the kind of hops are added and the boil kind of changes throughout the process, and obviously the finished beer at the end, right? But also there are things that we've picked up along the way that are our kind of options, but also things we've picked up from some of our customers while we've been out filming with them that make brew day just that little bit easier. And do you know what, Rob? If you can make your life a little bit easier, then why not, right?
Definitely on a brew day, more time to have a beer afterwards.
Exactly. I think it's high time then, Rob, that we jump in and start looking at the top 10 items that we feel make brew day just that little bit more straightforward.
Yeah, and these aren't expensive bits and bobs. They're just pieces that are going to make brew day much smoother, much easier, and much more satisfying.
Yeah, and things that you can like pick up along the way, right? You don't have to jump in and buy all these things straight away. You can build up to them. You can put them on your Christmas list, your birthday list.
Actually, these are great presents.
Yeah, great present ideas. So let's take a look at our very first item on this list. Come on then, come in with number one, Rob. What we got?
Scoop jug.
The scoop jug. We've fallen in love with these, haven't we?
Absolutely fantastic. We've got a flat side. Honestly, for digging out grain basket, doesn't matter what system you've got, digging out the grain at the end of the mash, they are absolutely fantastic.
They really are. Now, it's important to have jugs when you're brewing. You're going to need them for mixing up sanitizer, and you're going to need them for, you know, measuring certain bits and pieces out during the day, or just like popping your hydrometer into or something like that. But actually, these scoop jugs, they are an absolute revelation. Like you said, just the ability to dig out the mash tun with one of these makes a huge difference, especially if you're brewing on like a system with a wider basket, like a G40 or a G70.
Yeah, anything like G40 size or bigger, absolutely fantastic. Graduated as well, so you can actually use them as a measuring jug. Just what a bit of kit.
Yeah, really good. Nice, love that. Great choice for number one. Just take a look at number two.
Yep.
Number two then, Rob, on the list is a refractometer. Now, having a hydrometer during brew day, obviously at the end, that's really important so that you can measure the final outcome of all of that hard work you put in. But where a refractometer really stands out, and that I've used loads recently, is for making those on-the-fly adjustments to your brew. Being able to tell what your pre-boil gravity is using a refractometer has helped so much when we've just kind of not quite hit our pre-boil numbers.
Or to at least know exactly what your numbers are. And actually, one of the things we learned from Radim's video, and we'll talk about that a little bit more later on, but making notes right throughout. So the actual advantages of using a refractometer is we don't have to have a complete trial jar full of wort to be able to take a reading. We literally pipette out a small amount, dot it on the lens, and then you're there reading it, which just makes it so easy.
That's one of the biggest things for me as well. The volume you use out of your finished, or you know, the wort that you're making to use one of these and check your numbers is minuscule. So it really does save and maximise your yield.
Yeah, really, really useful right up until the point where you put the yeast in. Really good tool. Precision scales.
Yeah.
Now what we're looking at here is something that reads to 2 decimal points. So not so useful for hop additions, although you can use them for hop additions, but for measuring out water salts,
Yeah.
Absolutely ideal.
Yeah, measuring out those water additions using that is an absolute must. And actually, once you've got a set of them, you know, we've talked quite a bit about how you have kind of crossover hobbies within home brewing. I personally use my set of these for measuring out yeast for making pizza dough, you know, where you need just like 0.4 of a gram or like 2 grams or something, and being able to get that really precise measurement is so useful. I personally also use them for doing my hop additions. I tend to brew sort of 23 litre batches at home, so I'm not generally using like massive quantities during the boil anyway, and I find they're just so easy to use and really nice that you can pack them away. They've got their own little case there. Go with all of my water addition, like stuff that I've got in a box in my brew space at home, and they're just great.
Batteries last for ages. They also, or this particular set also comes with a test weight as well, so you can actually guarantee what you're weighing is right, because it's 2 decimal points, so very accurate.
Yeah, so that is a definite must. Precision scales, stick it on your birthday list. Now, while we're on the topic of water additions, I want to talk about something that you simply, for us, can't go into brew day without, and it's sodium metabisulfite. Now, if you're not into doing water additions, or you're not at that point in your brewing journey, that's absolutely fine, right? There's so much knowledge that you need to kind of absorb about water that it can feel a bit overwhelming when you're also trying to learn how to kind of deal with all the other processes like fermentation and mashing and boiling. But sodium metabisulfite for us is a must from the get-go. Now, for want of a better phrase, it's powdered Campden tablets. And what it's going to do is remove chlorine from your tap water.
Actually, much easier to use in the powdered form rather than the tablets, because the tablets are obviously one tablet, but we can actually dial it in properly using the powder and the aforementioned precision scale.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, if you're thinking about getting into like improving the quality of your beer, we always say there's kind of 2 things that you can do. Start with fermentation temperature control, because that makes a huge difference because you're keeping your yeast happy. But just removing chlorine from your tap water will have a marked improvement on your finished beer. So that's one that every brewer should have in their brew day pack.
James, mash paddle.
Yeah.
This simple device, stainless steel, is an absolute must for brew day tasks. And it's not just doughing in either.
No, whirlpooling at the end of the boil. You know, there's so many things that you can do. What are you doing with your mash paddle?
Practicing my cheerleading.
Practicing your cheerleading?
Baton twirling.
Just getting in and like scraping the hop filter at the bottom of your vessel if you've got one, it's got a bit clogged up.
Yeah.
Why have you chosen a stainless steel one though over a plastic mash paddle?
Yeah, we do the plastic ones, and they do serve a purpose. They're fine, you know, getting started brewing, that's fine. But these bad boys just will last forever. Actually, they come in different sizes as well. So this sort of size for the kind of up to 30 litre brews, but we also do the bigger ones. They come from Brew Tools, and then we've got the super size ones as well. If you've got something like a B150 or perhaps a 100 litre system, really get in there and stir it about. But stainless steel mash paddle, absolute must.
Easy to clean, sanitary, right? And like you say, it's going to last you a lifetime. And even if you kind of level up and change in your brewing system, it's still going to serve a purpose.
Absolutely.
A spray bottle, right?
Not just any spray bottle.
No, this is a spray bottle with perks.
Yeah, this really is. Actually, this is fantastic. Being able to use it at any angle. It's got a floating dip tube in there, so it picks up the liquid in whatever plane I've got it turned. Real nice. Some of these spray bottles, actually, they lose their action after a little while. These have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, so this is the Foxy Plus, and like you say, the best thing about this is not just on brew day, but kind of whenever you're performing any task around your home brewery, whether it's maybe like sanitizing a port when you're going to dump some yeast or take a sample out, because you can get in there and like get underneath and give it a little squirt, you know, without having to worry that you're going to run out of squirt. It's fantastic, and nice little adjustable nozzle, so you can get like a thin stream, or you can get that nice misting. Yeah, we use these all the time, and I think all of us have got at least 2 of them at home as well.
Definitely. One thing of note is we don't leave no rinse sanitizer solution in them. We tend to fill it up at the beginning of the brew day, empty it out at the end.
Yeah, Yeah, just because the no rinse sanitizer can over time degrade the silicone.
It takes quite a while, but yeah, it does do that.
Yeah.
Simple plastic syringes.
Yeah.
Just make measuring out any liquid for additions so much easier. Pretty much all of our chemicals come with some sort of syringe at various different sizes, but absolutely, when you're measuring out certain liquids, you absolutely can't do without them.
No, you can't. I mean, for me, the tiny little one there, the 2mm one that you've got, I use Flex quite a lot for bittering, and that's absolutely spot on because I know that I can get just the right amount out. It's perfectly sized to fit into the bottle that we sell Flex in, and it just works, right? And like you say, they're if you want to buy a box of them, they're really cheap to just buy. You know, you can get them elsewhere. We do supply a lot of our chemicals with them as well, so you'll always have a fresh supply every time you order certain bits and pieces. But yeah, just yesterday I had to put some Browsol into one of my fermenters at home, and into the bottle, bosh, take the right amount out, over the top of the fermenter, job done.
Job done. Yeah, they're absolutely indispensable for certain measuring tasks. James, I've got my phone out.
Okay, well, you're going to show me some pictures of cars, motorbikes?
There's plenty of those on there, but it's not about that. It's about how handy this is on brew day.
Yeah.
Firstly, I want music playing, so I can stream music through my phone. That's an absolute must.
Or, if you haven't got a speaker, you could be like a teenager at the back of the bus, just playing it through the speakers on your phone.
I'm not like that.
Okay.
But for calculations, come up to our website and use the brew day calculators on there for anything on the fly adjustments for your actual brew day is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, accessing like all the different brewing apps that you might use. You know, if you brew on a Grainfather, obviously it can all be controlled through your phone. I use Brewfather as well, so being able to access their app. If you're using some of the wrapped devices, you know, being able to access them again. The other thing I love about using my phone on brew day is in my notes app, I'll just write bits and pieces down, you know, things that maybe have happened or things that I'm happy about or that I would do again or that I do differently. But do you know what else the other thing I really like about it? You can tell that I do the marketing side of things here at the Malt Miller. I love to take photos while I'm brewing.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's photos of kind of what I'm doing on the day, documenting something, you know, or just taking a photo of my dog whilst he's chilling out in my brew space with me.
Or just a simple thing of being able to set a timer. Hey Siri, set a 10-minute timer. Bosh, done.
Oh, and so it is.
Oh, exactly. It's so easy, and that is just a fantastic tool for brew day. Come on in, James. What you got next?
Well, this is actually one of my absolute favourites. Trugs. I absolutely love a Trug. In fact, we all love a Trug here. If any of you have come here to Malt Miller HQ, you'll see up here in our brew school, it is almost like a breeding ground for Trugs. They're just so useful, right? And it doesn't matter what shape or size or wherever you get them from, but just being able to have something that you can dump dirty things into, you can stand your grain basket in, so many different applications, right?
They're so useful for sanitizer as well. 2/3 full of sanitizer on a brew day, so you've always got somewhere to put something that's clean and sanitized.
Yeah.
Or bottling day. You've got bottles in there, caps in there. Just the uses of these during the brewing process is just endless. Fantastic.
Yeah, they're
so simple and easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just love how versatile they are. And also, do you know what else I like about them?
Come on in, James.
If you've got more than one, they stack together all neatly. You know, just make sure they're dry before you stack them together, because they're
nasty,
getting them apart. But yeah, absolutely. Invest in some good quality Trugs, folks, because you will absolutely benefit from it. If you're brewing in your kitchen, keeps your floor from getting wet, you know, so many things. So
it's so easy to pick up, right? It's just bang it up.
Yeah, just wang it up.
Just wang it up.
Yeah. We're at number 10, right? And this is one of your personal favourites.
It is, and although it's not a brew day item, you're still going to be using it on brew day because I'm pretty sure you're going to have a beer as well. It is a flow control disconnect.
You've fallen in love with these, haven't you?
Honestly, they are fantastic. Right, at the moment at home, I've not got a kegerator set up as you normally would with the taps on top, so I'm having to open fridge doors, which is a problem in itself, but it is solved by this natty little device, which is so simple. Simple flow control knob on the top, turns the flow up and down, absolutely fantastic.
And so you've got that going straight to a party tap, right?
I've got stainless steel party tap on the end of a very short length of line connected to this bad boy, and I can even swap it around between kegs. So at the moment I've got a German wheat beer as well as an IPA, and it's like different carbonations, and I know that I can just use that on swapping it between the kegs. Makes it super easy.
And they're great for going away as well, right? If you've got like some of the smaller kegs or like some of the PET kegs, like the Oxbar ones, being able to wang one of those straight onto the keg, super simple, right? Super simple. And you know, having a couple of those in your kind of disconnect box is going to just make things really versatile for you and give you options.
Just for serving direct from any keg, just so easy. Party tap on the end, bosh.
Well, actually, the benefit of these over maybe using like a short shank and a stainless steel tap is, you know, some kegs you've got like different sort of rubber handles, like fitting the tap on with rubber handles can be a bit tricky sometimes. So just a different length of line dependent on your setup, right?
Yeah, it works in every situation. It's fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, you've completely fallen in love with it. Yeah.
So that's our top 10, but you've got your Mac out.
Yeah, I don't use my Mac on brew day because it's not waterproof, unlike my phone. So actually, the reason I got my Mac out is because last week we put a bit of a post out about this video, just to try and find out what some of your top 10 items might be, or your most used devices on brew day, the things that make your life that little bit easier on brew day. We had some awesome responses, so I just want to jump in and share some of these with you. So the first actually I want to call out was from Hayley Pierce. Now Hayley is one of the brewers over at Siren. We absolutely love Hayley. Check her out on Twitter. She's always posting like beery things that she's up to, but she said the stereo, and we couldn't agree more, right?
Yeah, whether it's a speaker that's streaming from your phone or a antique separate system in your brew space, we don't care, but having tunes during brew day, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. Just makes the day pass really nicely. Now the next was on Twitter, and this was from someone called Dorst, and they said AMS. Now Rob, how do you feel about AMS? Is it something that you regularly go to and use?
Well, it's a massive tool in our armoury for getting our water right for our specific brews. As we keep on saying, everyone's water's different. Some people will need it, some people don't. The most important thing is to know whether you do or whether you don't.
So check out our advanced water report that we sell via Murphy's, which will give you everything you need to know to then go on and adjust your water so that you can get the best results in the beer that you want to make. Right, now the next was from Stuart Lawton, and that was over on Facebook, and he actually said a pH meter, right, which again, that's something we're really starting to get into now, and actually I'm kicking myself for not putting it on our top 10 as well.
Well, we spoke about Radim's video a little earlier, and one of the things that we really picked up from him was just making notes at every single stage, and he took the pH of his wort and then beer at every single stage, and it's just that checks that you can make so that you can adjust things for the future. Absolutely brilliant.
Sometimes it's not even about making adjustments, it's just about knowing.
Knowledge,
right?
yeah.
Right, next was from Bob. Now, Bob, we met you last week when we were up at Track at our Meet the Supplier event.
What an event, that was cool.
Yeah, really cool, really good. Keep your eyes open for that, because there's going to be some more of those coming in the not too distant future. But actually, Bob said that actually his go-to item is a digital refractometer. And we've got a couple of different variations of those things available. And actually precision, right? Because sometimes when you're using a refractometer, if the light's a little bit low, it can be a bit difficult to see that blue line and pick out exactly where it is, right?
It's a luxury, you know. A standard one will do it. Having the digital one is just a step up. It's a great bit of advice.
Next was also from one of our followers on Facebook, Stuart Hardman, and he said the keg washers, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now he actually said that just being able to put like a pet fermenter on there and just watching it, because it's mesmerizing,
like
and we've done that, right? But yeah, actually you can be doing a couple of things at once, and you can be brewing and washing your kegs all at the same time without having to kind of be too involved in the keg washing. It's just doing it in the background for you, right? Okay, now we're on to another item that was suggested, and this was by Stuart over on Facebook. Now, this is a conversation that we've been having with various different customers. Actually, we met Stuart again at our Meet the Supplier event last week at Track, and I was having a chat with him over a beer, and he was talking to me about this item, and it's the flow control meters from Kegland, right?
Yeah. Now, the really interesting thing about that particular unit is you can tell it to deliver 19 litres of water, for example. So you dial in 19 litres, you hit the button, the water flows. As soon as it's delivered 19 litres, it cuts off.
Yeah.
And actually, that would be absolutely amazing up here in our brew school.
It'd be amazing in my brew space at home. You know, sometimes like you just want to make sure that you've got accuracy with your brewing water, and you know, maybe you can't quite see the etchings clearly on your kettle or the embossed markings, and actually having a flow control meter just to say, right, I need 19.5 litres, go. That would be fantastic. So we're looking into that because it's not an item we stock at the moment.
No, but we are. It's coming.
Yeah.
So that's our top 10 gadgets for making brew day easier, and a few more from some of our customers as well. If you've got more or anything to add, knock us up in the comments below.
We'd love to hear from you, right? Because actually, as we're learning more and more and more, every brewer's got a slightly different approach and different innovations that they use. Now, make sure that you're subscribed to our channel and you've hit the bell for notifications so you can stay up to date with everything we're doing here at Malt Miller HQ. Oh, and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And as ever, have a great brew.
Cheers.